All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredibly complex financial engines that power pretty much every subscription company you use. We're going to follow a single transaction from that first click all the way to the final payment to see exactly how massive systems like SAP make it all work seamlessly. I mean, it really starts with a question of just mind-boggling scale. Think about your cell phone provider or your favorite streaming service. How on earth do they manage billions of tiny individual transactions and then somehow roll them all up into one single accurate bill for you each month? Well, that's the core challenge we're going to unpack. So, to really get why the solution is so impressive, we first have to appreciate just how big the problem is. And it's a challenge that was born from this massive, game-changing shift in how we all do business now, the rise of what we call the subscription economy. Let's face it, we are living in the as-a-service world. We don't really buy software in a box anymore, we subscribe to it. We don't own a library of movies, we just stream them whenever we want. This huge shift away from a simple one-time sale to an ongoing, living relationship, well, it demands a completely new and way more powerful financial backbone. And this is the kind of chaos that old-school accounting systems just can't handle. They weren't built for a world with billions of tiny microtransactions, or pricing that changes on the fly, or customers upgrading and downgrading their plans in the middle of the month. And somehow all of this complexity has to be perfectly calculated and rolled up into one clear bill. That is a monumental task. So where does this whole journey begin? Well, it all kicks off the exact moment a customer decides to hit that subscribe button. The very first thing the system does, and this is probably the most critical step, is create something called a provider contract. Now, this isn't just some digital document. You have to think of it as the single source of truth for the entire relationship with that customer. Every single commercial detail, what they bought, what it costs, when it renews, it's all locked into this one central agreement. Yeah, this master contract is the absolute foundation for everything that's about to happen. By creating this right at the start, the system guarantees that everything stays consistent every step of the way. Every action that follows, from pricing a single megabyte of data to spitting out the final invoice, will always look back to this one contract. Okay, so we've got the contract locked in. Now let's get to the really cool part, the magic, really. How does the system put a precise price on every single click, every stream, every minute of usage, and do it all in real time? Well, there's this engine called convergent charging. And honestly, the best way to picture it is like a hyper-intelligent utility meter, but on steroids. It's watching every single thing that happens, every data packet, every movie streamed, and it instantly applies the specific pricing rules from your provider contract to figure out the cost, right then and there. So here's exactly how that flow works. Let's say you stream a movie. The system immediately captures that event. Its rules engine instantly looks back at your contract and calculates the exact price. And what comes out the other end is what's called a billable item, a perfect little digital record of one price transaction, all ready to go on an invoice. So at this point, you can imagine the system is holding on to potentially thousands of these tiny billable items for every single customer. So the next big challenge is, how do you pull all of those together into one invoice that people can actually understand? Well, that's the job of convergent invoicing. You can think of it like a master assembler. It flawlessly goes out and gathers all those individual billable items, your monthly fee, your data usage, any one-time charges, and pulls them all together into one single unified invoice for the customer. And what you get in the end is this, a clean, simple invoice that brings everything together. You can see your reoccurring plan, the usage that was metered in real time, and any one-off costs. For the customer, getting a bill this clear is absolutely key. It builds trust. The invoice is out. Now for the really important part, right? Getting paid. And in today's world, that means handling digital payments, not just efficiently, but with ironclad security and at a massive, massive scale. So here's something you should know. Modern systems never, and I mean never, store your raw credit card number. The risk is just way too high. Instead, they use something called tokenization. Your sensitive card info gets sent straight to a secure payment provider, and what comes back is a token, basically a secure random placeholder. The company only stores that safe token, not your actual data. It's a powerfully secure way to do business. Now, to handle millions of payments coming in from all over the place, the system bundles them into something called a payment lot. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant digital deposit slip. It groups thousands of individual payments together, which makes processing them, clearing them, and balancing the books incredibly efficient.
But let's be realistic. In the real world, not every single invoice gets paid right on time. And that's where the final and really crucial piece of this whole puzzle comes into play: smart automated collections.
Now, the industry term for this is dunning, which I know sounds a little harsh, but this isn't about sending threatening letters. It's actually a highly structured automated business process. The system just follows a predefined strategy to communicate with customers methodically to collect what's owed. And this escalation path is completely methodical. It's all based on rules. You can see how it might start with just a friendly email reminder. Then maybe it escalates to an automated late fee, and eventually it could lead to a temporary service suspension. Because it's all automated, every customer is treated fairly and consistently. And this is where the system gets even smarter. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It uses what's called a flexible collection strategy. This lets a company tailor its approach, maybe treating a high-value long-term customer a bit differently than a brand new one. It's all about managing bad debt without accidentally pushing away your best customers. So let's do a quick recap of that whole journey. It's a complete end-to-end life cycle. Remember, it all kicks off with that single smart provider contract. Then, every little thing is priced in real time. It all gets pulled together on a convergent invoice. Payments are handled with secure digital tokens. And finally, if things go wrong, there are intelligent, automated collection strategies to manage it. And this all brings us to one final, really crucial question. This whole journey, it's not just about some cool technology. It's about a fundamental shift in our entire economy. As more and more products become services, having a financial backbone that can handle this kind of complexity, well, that's going to be the difference between sinking and swimming. So is your business ready for that tsunami?